Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. Come along with us as we explore a forgotten piece of history. A hidden civilian conservation camp. A little bit of Roosevelt history. The Great Depression. Amazing old buildings. And a little glimmer of hope in one of the saddest times in American history. This is a civilian conservation camp. When Franklin D. Roosevelt took over as president, March of 1933, the United States was in the midst of the worst depression ever experienced. Among the organizations established to help relieve the situation was the Civilian Conservation Corps, or the CCC. Not only one of the first to begin operation across the country, but also one of the most successful of the various alphabetical agencies of the New Deal period. Now, the CCC was designed to solve two problems at the same time: provide financial relief and help implement conservation projects. All right, so we are here in Leeds, Utah. Now, this is something we did not know was here. So we were just driving down the road and saw a marker and turned left and found it. So this is the Leeds Historic CC Camp. So in the Depression year of 1933, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt initiated the Civilian Conservation Corps, and the program provided needs for employment in the nation's youth for 18 to 25. And what they did was the men completed the 8th grade and have 3 to 4 family members dependent on their paycheck. The men received $30 a month, which 25 was sent home to their families. Now, this is during the Great Depression, and the unemployment here in Utah during that time was about 25 and as high as 35%. And so they came from all over and they were stationed here, and these are the barracks and things that lived here. There was a mess hall and everything else, but there's quite a few pieces left here in a few buildings. So we're going to take a look at those buildings. Well, this building here was called the dispensary, and it says supplies and paychecks. Well, they've got some bars on the window here. Those look more recent. Old stone buildings. Definitely looks like the original door. And there's some more buildings down there. Now, these buildings here at the CCC camps were very simply built, as a lot of these went up very quickly to get people employed during the Depression. This had a tremendous amount of barracks that housed about 50 men each. There was a dining hall, a library, and several other essential buildings in this camp. Now, the frame buildings were typically built on a concrete foundation with 10 to 12 inch wide boards and batten siding and simple gable roofs. They had no insulation, and they used single light bulbs with exposed wiring hanging from the buildings. And it's unfortunate that those barracks don't live here anymore. These are some of the main buildings that are still on property. Well, they've really taken good care of the buildings. These are all stucco and finished walls. Hopefully they continue to take care of them. These are really amazing, but this was the officers' headquarters. So we're walking to the next building, and take a look at this tree. Massive. Well, better than being large, look at this, you can see right through it. And you can see through there, but look around this other side. Massive the inside. This tree's just like hollowed out. Looks like the could be a home for a small gnome. Now, this tree still stands and will continue to stand in this location. But most of the buildings here were destroyed. The latrines, showers, the swimming pool. Well, they were all knocked down and the pool was filled in. Down on Main Street, the debris was all pushed in from the buildings they crushed into the swimming pool and just covered up.
And this building here has double doors on the side. Let's see what this one was. Oh, there it is, Blacksmith shop. That explains why it had the double doors, to be able to get the wagons in and out and work on them, and horses.
Now you'll see the I-15 off there to the left with the cars and trucks just whizzing by. But the construction of the freeway in the 1970s destroyed several remaining historic structures in the area. So the structures you see here were kind of in despair, really in rough condition. But they've restored what's left and kept these grounds looking very good and kept a little bit of this Civilian Conservation Corps history. And kind of nice to see. I really didn't know much about the CCC until we found this location. And this small town of Leeds, Utah has big history, pioneer history, and just American history in general.
This is an old picture of what it looked like back in 1939 photo. Right there is where this is at. You can see the lines from the rocks that they've made it terraced. But all of these barracks were here. And I think down the road, I think a couple of those old barns are still on some of the properties. But there's the mountains and the mesas in the background where we're going hiking. And that is crazy. I had no idea that this was here. Beautiful old kept or restored buildings.
Now this was an exciting find for us, as again, we didn't know this was here, and we just thought we'd share this with you. And until our next adventure, goodbye from Weekend Escapades, and we'll see you in the next one.